Vietnam has offered to remove all the tariffs that they have put on US imports. And that makes a lot of sense because almost a third of all Vietnamese exports go to the United States. But if you look at the list of where America exports, Vietnam doesn't even really get 1% of our goods. But if Vietnam does drop their tariffs to the United States and America drops the 46% tariff we just put on Vietnam to 0 or 5 or 10%, then most likely we'll start to see billions of dollars of more trade. Unfortunately, Vietnam is a very small country, so that's not going to have too much of an economic impact on the United States. But if other countries follow suit with Vietnam, then that could be an economic game changer for America. And it looks like Taiwan is also looking at 0% tariffs against all US imports, and they promise to invest more in the United States. And I wouldn't be surprised if that upcoming meeting between Israel and the United States is going to involve offering the US 0% tariffs on imported goods. India can be a bit of a game changer too, because right now they only import about 2.1% of US exports, but that's because they have a lot of tariffs against us. But they have also offered to drop their tariffs, or at least reduce them significantly for the United States. Now, the thing is, these are merely offers from other countries to either drop entirely or reduce the tariffs, and the US hasn't accepted anything yet. Each of the countries who are willing to drop tariffs against the United States are the ones that are being the hardest hit. But aside from India, none of the gigantic economies are approaching the US with the hopes of lowering tariffs. The EU, Japan, South Korea, 12th largest economy on the planet, the UK. Now they're looking to have a better trade relationship with one another and maybe start to exclude the US from the supply chain. Canada and Mexico aren't being tariffed 25%, it's going to be 10%, but that's still not something that we need between these three countries. Maybe the United States wants everyone to reduce the tariffs that they have, but it may only work with the small countries, and the large countries may develop enough independence from the US to just say, okay, you keep your tariffs, we'll keep our tariffs, and we'll just strengthen each other. But if that doesn't happen, and the United States does manage to reduce trade barriers with the threat of the current trade barriers, then maybe things will be okay. But that is a bet. That is a maybe that the American economy shouldn't have to endure right now because things have already been rough for the past 6 years. China has already shown that they can endure US tariffs and manage to thrive since 2018, even though we keep upping the ante against them. Europe has already dropped tens of billions of dollars of military contracts with the United States in the hopes of investing within themselves or just buying from other countries in the EU. The US stock market has already wiped out $9.6 trillion since Inauguration Day, and if markets keep having significant drops in this fashion, then we are going to start seeing a higher degree of mass layoffs. A lot of this looks like some startup gamble. A startup company tries something, they lose a great deal of money, they're like, okay, that broke, let's try something new. It works with maybe small companies, but it doesn't work when you're dealing with a world economy, especially the economy that you're supposed to be leading. If it works, and if the trade barriers drop worldwide, that would be incredible. We would actually prosper a lot as Americans. But at best, this is a 50-50 gamble. And that other 50% is a drop in American manufacturing, a drop in American exports, and a drop in American foreign direct investment. I am the Geo Husar, and if this gambit works, I'll once again have to eat my words. Thanks for watching.